Yahuwah opens to you his good treasure, the Shemayim, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hands. And you shall lend to many nations, but you do not borrow. And Yahuwah shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be only on top and not be beneath, if you obey the commands of Yahuwah your Elohim, which I command you today, to guard and do. And do not turn aside from any of the words which I have commanded you today, right or left, to go after your mighty ones to serve them. On the flip side, the sojourner who is among you rises higher and higher above you, but you come down lower and lower. He lends to you, but you do not lend to him. He is the head, and you are the tail. And all these curses shall come upon you, and they shall pursue and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws which he commanded you. And they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and on your seed forever. Now, that is where we are today. We are a cursed people. We are. We are a cursed people. And it's the opposite of the blessing, right? Being the lender and not the borrower. But how many of us are in debt? How many of us have borrowed money? I just took out a loan like a couple days ago because there was not enough money. And it's the beginning of the month and there was not enough money. And I had just gotten paid and there was still not enough money. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Debt. Oh my gosh, y'all. I have been on a debt free journey for 11 years, maybe. It may have started before 2015. And I started with a little over $100,000 in debt. And working 7 days a week, working multiple jobs, running myself ragged. This was even before I had my son. I am now down to like 20 some odd thousand, maybe 25,000. I'll put the number on the screen, but that is where I'm at now. Um, and I'm trying to pay off debt. I am a one income household, okay? Just one. I have one job. I do like Uber Eats and DoorDash here and there when I can, but literally it is just from my job, from my 9 to 5 job. Okay. That is the money that comes in. And I have not been doing a very good job of stewarding that money. So let's talk about the debts that I have. So I'm looking at my budget planner. I got this off Amazon. So, yes, let's take a look at the debts that I do have. Starting with, I had an alarm system in, I think it was 2016? No, 2017. And when I moved, I was not going to take the alarm system with me. And I called the people and was like, hey, can I send y'all back this equipment because I'm not going to use it anymore? They were like, no, we don't take the equipment back, but you still have to pay for it. I'm sorry, what? This equipment is in pristine condition and I want to give it back to you. You don't take the equipment back, but I still have to pay for it even though I'm not using it. Why would I pay for services that I'm not using? No. So, them, I owe $719.19, right? Then I have a medical bill. I'm not going to disclose what that bill is for, but it went to collections. And I do like that um, there's a law that says that medical debt cannot go on your credit report because that is a HIPAA violation. And I honestly feel like medical debt that goes to collections is also a HIPAA violation. But whatever. It is what it is. I have left to pay on that $2,551.48. Yeah. hmm Student loans. over 20,000. Okay, I don't know what the current number is because it accrues interest like every day. So I have that to pay, and I pay $10 a month. So what I did was I did the income driven repayment plan where they ask you all these financial questions and I answered them truthfully. That's the thing. When I know a lot of people, when they are trying to get like government assistance or assistance with certain things and they falsify numbers, the reason I don't get government assistance is because I literally cannot falsify numbers. I have, I don't know if it's the conviction or if it's the ruach, but I cannot falsify when it comes to government assistance. I can't. I will put my real numbers on there. I That is just something I've never been able to do. And even though I've had people tell me, "Oh, just put this number because such and such got the government assistance and they put this number," I can't do that. I literally cannot because I know the Most High is watching me. And it's like, I'm not trying to scheme and scam my way into government assistance. No, what I need to do is steward my money better. The job that I have now is a job that I prayed for years, years. Okay. I love my job. I do. And finally, the Most High blessed me with this job. The pay is not great, but it covers my bills and allows me to buy groceries and things that we need and then still have some left over. So I'm like, okay, well, I just need to be a better steward. I do. I need to be a better steward of it. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, student loans. Yeah. I have two loans that I'm paying on for my 401k. I took out two loans when I moved. Um, I really, moving from literally next door, the apartment that I lived in before this current one, there's a gate that divides this complex and the other one. So, but it was still a lot of money to move because I had to pay first month's rent here, last month's rent there. I was still paying for electricity. It overlapped for that same month, so that was a huge bill. I had to pay movers, and yeah, the whole declutter series is why, yeah, if I had decluttered like I should have, I could have saved so much money in having to pay movers. And I would not have had to take out uh, a loan for my 401k. I also had surgery back in October. So I had taken out a uh, loan for that. And I actually paid that off with my, we'll get into the loans, all the money that I paid off. But yeah, yeah. So 401k, I have two loans. One was for 1,200. One was for 1,000. The one that was for 1,200 is about to be paid off. And so the thing about taking out a loan from your 401k is that as you pay it back, it collects interest. So it's like it's more money going back towards me. So hey, I'm here for it. Always, yeah. And moving forward, if I need to take out a loan, I will not be going to like all these different places to take out a loan. It will be just from my 401k because as I'm paying it back, I'm paying more into it with the interest. So that's a benefit to me. Let's see, what else is there? Um, the loan that I just recently took out, like a couple days ago from Upstart. It was $1,500, but they take out like a fee of 100 some odd dollars. So what actually ended up in my account was $1,389.07. And I had to take out that loan because I'll just be honest, I I was not stewarding my finances well. And so when it came to at paying rent at the end of May, Um, so rent is due on the first, obviously, but I was like, huh, I got paid and I paid my rent. I did, but I was like, I don't have any money left over for like the rest of the month. So yeah, and we'll get into like breakdowns of like how I split up my checks to cover my bills, but oh my gosh, yeah. So that is the grand total of the current debt that I have. Now, When I took out this loan from Upstart, I did end up paying off two other debts that I had. And this was like yesterday. I paid off my Capital One credit card, which was $396.64. And then I had a medical bill from Quest Diagnostics for $199.14. So I did end up paying those off because I needed to. Quest Diagnostics, they sent me a letter. It was like, hey, your bill is about to go to collections because I couldn't pay it. The whole bill was $212.70. Now, mind you, this appointment that I had, I think they did blood work. I think that's what it's for, was back in September, right? And they take forever to send you the bill. Like it takes like 2, 3 months for them to send you the bill, like, oh, this is how much you owe from that visit from like 2, 3 months ago. Really? Yeah. So the insurance in America is a scam. It is. But we have to have it, whatever. So, what else? I think that's it. That's all of the debts that I have currently. Okay. And so, as you can see, the total. Now, things that I have paid off last year, I believe. Yes, last year. Um, I had a medical bill for HCA when I went to the emergency room, which was $626.57. And this is just all the debts I paid off in 2025. I had a loan from Net Credit that was $1,000 to pay for a surgery. And then I had, for the surgery also, the anesthesia, which was separate. I'm like, why? $323.59. And then I had another bill for radiology. I don't remember what this was for. I did check it though at the time, but it was $22.12. And then I had another one for a doctor's appointment that was $31.84. Bills that I could not pay, and I had to like take out money for them. But that is all the debt that I paid in 2025. I'm not going to go into all of the debt that I have paid before 2025. I'll just put up like a list of the things I've paid before 2025, but I'm not going to compile it all together. So I'm focusing on paying off my current debts. And listen, I hate owing people money. I do. I hate owing people money. I do. And I do not borrow money from family, not anymore. I used to borrow money from my mom, and I would always pay it back. I was always good for paying back, and I'm always good for paying things back when it comes to like other companies. But it's like I don't like borrowing money. I don't. But when the finances are not there, they're not there. And I was praying and I was like looking at my bank account. I was like, listen, Yahuwah, the money is not there. Okay, what am I supposed to do? I didn't want to take out the loan, and I didn't think I was going to get approved for it, but I did. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take out this loan, and it's $50 a month to pay it back. And by the end, I think it's like sometime in 2027. No, it's 5 years. I think 2031. I will have paid back like $3,000. It's going to be paid off before then. That's not an issue. Um, so I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, I'm really focusing on that. So my 401k, the one that's 1,200, like I said, it's going to be paid off really soon. I only have $300 left on it to pay, and each pay period is 52.25. So I get paid twice a month. So that one's about to be paid off, and then I will focus on paying off the other one. So like I said, moving forward, if I need to take out a loan, then I will borrow from my 401k. Now, let's look at what my monthly bills are. And I don't have a lot of bills, and these are not all bills that I actually have to pay. Well, let me put it this way. not all the bills that I have are bills that I actually have to pay, right? Some of them are just things that I want, but all of my bills for the month. So I have rent, which with all the fees and everything added in is on average like 13.50. Jetty, which is my when I moved in, I didn't put down a deposit. So Jetty is how I pay the deposit. It's like $50 a month, and it's like 2,000 some odd dollars. So with that, when I move out, that will cover if there's like any damages or anything. So I didn't put down a deposit, and I don't know how much the whole amount was, but I'm pretty sure I have paid more than what the amount was. But whatever. Maybe not. I don't think I have paid more than what the amount is. I'll have to look at that, but I'll put that on the screen. I have life insurance separate from my job, so I have life insurance through my bank, which is 43.20. I pay for iCloud storage, which is 2.99. I do pay for YouTube Premium. I do 17.31. Let me tell you something. I was paying YouTube Premium through Apple, which is like $5 more. And then I got an email from YouTube was like, hey, if you switch to YouTube Premium on the YouTube website, then it's like 15.99. I'm like, are you kidding me? This whole time I could have been paying less, like $5 less, and then YouTube Premium through Apple went up. The price went up like right before I switched over. Well, no, right after I switched over, and I was like, literally, yeah. Anyway, TXU Light Company. I live in Texas, so that's on average like $140 a month. HP Ink, which is for my printer, which is $5.49 a month, but it's going up. Because it was $4.99 a month. Now it's going up to $5.99 a month. So yeah, I don't know how much plus tax, how much that's going to be. Xfinity is my internet, 61.47. AT&T for my cell phone. I thought it would be like $85, but this last bill it was $80. I just recently changed phone plans. So I was paying like 100 some odd dollars, and then I changed to a different phone plan, which dropped it $20. I was like, where can I cut in my budget? So yeah, I am not really sure how much that's going to be from now on because it was the first bill that it was $80. So State Farm, which is my car insurance, $129.60. Blink, which is my doorbell camera, and I have two other cameras around my apartment outside, and that's $12.86 a month. And then Amazon Prime is $7.50 a month. So that is the grand total of all the bills that I have. This is not including debt payments. I don't include that in my bills because debt payments are kind of like they get paid when they get paid. Okay, these are things here for the most part that I have to pay. So the bills I absolutely have to pay are rent, my life insurance, light company, internet, phone bill, and car insurance, and Jetty. Those are things I have to pay. Some of that other stuff is just like I want to. I want to have those things, right? So those are all of my bills. Now, I used to have renter's insurance, but here's what happened. I was looking at my rent statement a couple of months ago, and I saw another charge on there, like an extra random charge for like $14. So I went to leasing office. I said, "What is this?" And they were like, "That is insurance, renter's insurance, but it's only liability, and that's for damage to the property, whether it's weather. I live in Houston; it floods, okay, and things like that, but it does not cover my things in my home." So why am I paying extra renter's insurance? I was paying um, Allstate. It was like $21.53. So I canceled the renter's insurance because I'm like, if I'm paying $14 a month and that's just for the property, not for my things in my home, I'm like, there's no sense in having renter's insurance. Now, as far as the things in my home, if something were to happen, I'll replace it, right? I don't think it's necessary. But like I said, if it came to that and like the things in my home were damaged, I would use my 401k and take that money and, replace whatever I need. If I need to move to a different apartment, like the money in my 401k will take care of that. So, no, I do not have renter's insurance um, for my personal belongings. But as far as for the apartment itself, yes, we're forced to pay that because they don't take third party insurance anymore. I was like, oh, okay, well, so between my cell phone bill and cutting out the renter's insurance, that took that gave me back $40 into my budget. So I'm trying to think what else did I do recently. Now, I will say my phone plan is going to go up because I am getting my son a cell phone. I know that's something that I've just been like, no, I don't want to do that. Don't want to get him a cell phone. Don't want to do that. No, I am. I am going to get him a cell phone. So when, I don't know, but I do have room in the budget to do that, especially with one of my 401k loans about to be paid off. Um, yes, so we're good on that. But those are all of my bills for the month. I do not have a car note. I paid my car off 4 years ago. Yes, paid that off 4 years ago, so I do not have a car note. That's another area that I need to steward well is my car. Now, I will say this. I do make sure that my tires are changed regularly. Like if I need new tires, if they start to wear out, I will buy all new tires, all four. I do take care of that. I recently had to get my brakes done. That was so much money. Oh my gosh. But thank the Most High that I had the money when I got my income tax. So, something about me, when I get income tax money, when I know how much it's going to be, I already deduct everything that has to be taken care of. And typically that is things for the home and my car. Those two things, I do that first. So I knew that I was going to have to get my brakes done. That was like off top. And I already knew I set aside like $2,000 of my income tax, my tax return. And because I was like, it can't be more than $2,000. It was not. It was actually way less than $2,000, but it was still a lot of money. A lot. I think it was like 1,600. Um, but that's important, right? Can't be having faulty brakes, right? And so luckily when I got they checked my tires and everything, they were like their tires are still in good condition. So I didn't have to buy new tires. So that was a good thing. But I'm very bad on oil changes. I am very bad on oil changes. But I will be getting an oil change tomorrow. I will be doing that because I'm way past when I should have gotten one. I'll be doing that tomorrow. So yeah, stewarding that well because having car repairs is super expensive, especially if it's not in the budget, right? Not in the budget. So another thing that I want to work on financially is savings. I do have a savings account. There is money in the savings account. However, there used to be a lot of money in that savings account, but because I was not stewarding well, it dwindled down a lot. Okay, a lot, a lot. And some of that money was used for when I moved. So I think that's it. Let me make sure. I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about as far as this video. And I'm not sure how videos are going to look moving forward. But yes, I think that's it. And I will leave the link to this planner. This planner is like, I think it was like $6, if I'm not mistaken. I will leave the link in the description if y'all want to check it out. But I really do actually like this planner. And I will continue to use this one moving forward if they continue to make it. If not, I'm going to be sad because, when you find something that you really like and then it gets discontinued, it's like, well, what do I do? I am a person of habit. I like what I like. Okay. So that is all that I have for y'all.